Hello everyone, welcome back to Captain Aviation, yet on another video here on the channel for the Private Pilot's License UK CAA, the Civil Aviation Authority. Welcome back. Today we're going to be speaking about the, as you can see with the title, the radiotelephony test. Okay, so the oral exam, the only oral exam that you have to do, and we're going to start talking about that one very soon. So first of all, let me congratulate you and thank you for all your support you've been giving me. It's tremendous. It's really over the moon. Nothing I expected so quickly from the channel. Couple of comments, couple of likes, lots of watch hours and support. So I really thank you for staying with me throughout all these videos that might seem boring to you. And they obviously I'm not very secure when it comes to them because there's a lot of competition when it comes to these videos. Because obviously it's not just me, it's always a couple of more people, the people with more experience than me, so they know more than me, and so you having that trust and watching those 2 minutes videos, at least 2 minutes of the video is really important, and I really thank you for that. So today we're going to be speaking about the RT exam, the radiotelephony test. It's quite long. The actual one is FRTOL, so Foxtrot Romeo Tango Oscar Lima. And I've got it here. It's the Flight Radiotelephony, so F stands for Flight Radiotelephony Operator's License. Okay, and that's the only oral exam that you have to do. The other 9 ones are theory, multiple choice. And I do have the videos down below in the description. Some of the videos I'll have the communications one on the descriptions down below because we're using this book as reference, the Pooley's book, the Air Pilot's Manual, as reference for the video because it's communication. I've done 9 videos on these ones, and communications obviously is the main one so for today, and that will be in the link in the description down below or up here. It depends. I'll probably put it in the description definitely down below. So we're going to be speaking about what you will do in the exam, what you need for the exam, and basic tips and advice that I can give you from my experience having passed this RT exam. So for the first of all is a reference and the knowledge that you have to always go back when doing these exams is the CAP 413. Now you probably hear most of your examiners, your instructors and people around the internet saying that CAP 413 for the RT exam in the UK is really essential. It's basically your handbook to get through the exam. Is your handbook to get through the exam as the instructors, I keep mixing them up, as the examiners want you to do the test. So you might have heard on the radio calls during your flight training, some radio calls that are not compliant with the CAP 413. And now that's dangerous in a way because you're going to use that language that you've heard from other experienced pilots that isn't CAP 413. Let's say it's not that CAP 413 syllabus. So do go and look into that carefully and really detailed. It's 300 pages, but some does skim down because it's military, so probably be a bit less. So basically the only military you have to know is basically the MATS, so the Military Aerodrome Traffic Zone. And I assume you've done that with your flight training. If not, then you might do it in the future for the MATS penetration. So the flight school, obviously, I'm going to now speak about what the flight school has done, what my flight school has done to help me, and what I've done on my own self-study to help myself. So, and what you can do to help yourself, obviously the best ways possible for you. So I've got a list here because it's quite long. Let's say I can't go all by memory and I want to be precise as well. So you're going to start your training, your RT training. Obviously I'm giving advice, so I'm speaking in a way that I'm trying to give advice. Your RT training, how I started it was using this book, so the Air Pilot's Manual, which is really useful. It doesn't really have I don't think, I'll show you the contents page. So I hope you can see it this way. There we go, looks better like that. And its contents page has got the section 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, so 5 sections. And it's the learning the language, okay, so cockpit radios, what to say, operation, the aerodrome, and information. you've got a flying further, so more information about that. So RT, radiotelephony in uncontrolled and controlled airspace, and airspace classification. Section 3, when things go wrong, so emergency procedures, I can't speak today. Mayday, pan, which I'm sure you probably know them, and I assume you do as you're into the license. And radio failure. Okay, so procedures you have to do during your radio failure, so squawking 7600. And section 4, putting it all together, example, they're going to give you examples of VFR and IFR flights. Section 5, how radio works, radio fundamentals, wave propagation, and long-range communication. They don't have a specific, I didn't look very well, but on the contents page, it doesn't seem that they do have a skill test, not a skill test, why am I being like this today? Not a skill test, a RT exam specified on the book. So they don't give you a scenario of the RT exam on the book, but obviously you can, that's how I studied, I just went through it, and obviously CAP 413, which is essential. So do look at this, okay? This is a really, let's say, essential book that you do need for your pilot skills and your basic radio telephony knowledge in the book, in your license. Now we're going to be speaking about other ways, okay, that we can revise. That's the first one was the book, then I used CAP 413, which obviously will be in the description down below. Guys, do apologize, I'm a bit tired today, so I am in a state of not knowing, I am knowing what I'm saying because I do know what I say, but obviously I do mix up words, and that happens kind of, when you're tired, and it's not morning, it's afternoon, we've got the sun out, so it's a nice day. Easy PPL, I didn't do the service, I didn't use their services this time for the RT, but I did use them for the other 1 to 9, the other 9 theory exams. But this one was, I've never used it because I think it was let's say I didn't really need it. I had the CAP 413 and the book, which was enough for me. Maybe for you want to use that RT preparation on the Easy PPL. I'll put a link in so you find it easier to get to. So you find your ways to revise with my tips and the tips on the internet and your flight schools. Whatever tips you have, you get them all. They're all useful as long as you find yourself well, which is very, very important. Then let me just go through this one. So when you look at your RT radio and your RT, let's say the basic communications of the radio telephony, the examiner will test you on that. Okay, they won't test you on, for the exam I'm saying, they won't test you on the nav, they won't test you on your headings, for example, they won't test you on how well you use the computer, because you'll have the computer, and we'll get now to the part of the exam. You won't be assessed on how well you use a computer. If you're a very techie guy, you're good at tech, they won't test you on that, they will test you on the communications and the CAP 413. I will repeat CAP 413 lifelong because it's really important for this RT, and that's what they get tested you on. That's your reference point for the, in my opinion, that was my reference point, and I think it can be yours as well. So now we're going to speak about the exam. Okay, what happens in the exam. And before, I've got a sheet here with which I did with my exam with my instructor. And it's the Flight Radiotelephony Operator's License Training and Practical Test Syllabus. So it would have on the top part, it would have your name. What else does it have? Your CA number. It has your name and surname, email address, and your date of birth, which is obviously private information. I'm not going to show you for now. And this one is your syllabus. Okay, so this is the syllabus that you will go in. It's the SRG 1171, and you can find that online and also in the description down below. As always, all the links necessary, I will put them down below. And it goes through 6 sections. Okay, so the first one is aircraft radio equipment. And it's basically a checklist of what you need to know and what your RT brief with your instructor will be like. Okay, so you're going to tick off what you know, and what, if you're unsure on something, you have to tell your examiner, you have to tell your instructor, because obviously you're not clear with it and you need to know further information, you need to look into it more carefully and with more detail, because obviously you're unclear of what the subject is talking about. Aircraft radio equipment, first section. Section 2, general phraseology, references and procedures. Section 3, departure procedures. Section 4, arrival and circuit procedures. We'll be doing that as well in your, not just in your exam, but in your RT as well. Section 5, en route procedures. Section 6, emergency, abnormal and lost procedures. Okay, so different squawks, SSR emergency codes as well. So this is the list. I'll be putting it into the description down below. It's really, really important. And obviously, I'm not the only one. Let me just put it. There we go. I'm not the only one that will be telling you. Your examiner will be obviously your instructor. I'm sorry, today is just today. Your instructor will be telling you about it as well, and your flight training, of course. Okay, so that's what you need, and then you need, and it needs to be signed by your instructor. So I don't have it on this page, but on the other pages, 2 pages, it will have to be signed by your instructor, or a self-declaration that you comply with these. Okay, but my instructor said that he doesn't know anyone that does this, has self-signed it, or rarely, because I think you have to be very confident. But it's obviously better to have your examiner to sign it. Your instructor to sign it. Apologies for the 10th time today. That's your syllabus of what you need to know. Just go through it, check that, and check the book as well. And the CAP 413, obviously important knowledge to just overall do your best in the exam. Even though you don't feel very confident, then you can just move on and do a bit of, you're not confident with departure procedures, then you look into the book and the CAP 413, combine them together, and then you obviously, hopefully, you should be more confident. With online resources nowadays, you can find many things to help you. Obviously, don't get misinformed, okay? Because if it's not CAP 413 knowledge or references, not going to bring you a very good, let's say, note for the examiner. If you do mess up on some of it, not a, let's say, not, how do I say it? It's not going to be the end of the world, okay? So I don't think you'll fail, but obviously your examiner will want you to know CAP 413. Okay, so it's not the end of the world. You probably will pass as well, but don't do it as often, and just read CAP 413 before many times. And it's 300 pages, so do look at it carefully. Try not skipping it. If you are confident with some, be sure you're very confident and not overly confident. That doesn't make a good impression always. Okay, so that's that. This is the record of completion. Okay, so this is practical test, training syllabus, and the record of completion. Have your chart, if possible. It needs to be updated. If it's not, it shouldn't be a problem. Mine wasn't, I don't think, and it wasn't a problem, because obviously it depends. If in the new updated version they put a mast, for example, that wasn't there, or they don't have solar panels, I don't think, but wind turbines, and they're not there, maybe you'll find it in a more difficult position in your exam, or you'd have to get another one before it. I don't know really how it works, but that might be the case. Not sure, not guaranteeing anything, just saying how it could be. Then you need to bring, I brought mine, you can get your flight school to print it there. You need your communication skill, your communications theory test. So the theory test you did for this, passed obviously, and a copy of that you can also get on the CAA website in your what's it called, your panel. Okay, so in your portal, sorry, not your panel, you can see in your CAA portal, you can find your past exam for your communications theory test. But you can't do your exam till you've passed that communications. Okay, so do make sure you do it after you've passed. I mean, you can't do it anyways, but just get a nice pass so you can do your RT test. And you need your ID identification as well. Okay, so do bring that so they can confirm it's you. So how the test works, they will give you, the examiner will give you, it feels like this one will be a long video, compared to the other ones. I think we're going for 20 minutes. Not a problem. I'll put chapters and hopefully it doesn't bore you as much. So how the test works. The test works in a way that the examiner, you'll meet the examiner there, obviously, in 2 rooms. I'm just saying how my one was, in 2 separate rooms with a tablet. Not tablet, a laptop. They'll have a laptop and you'll be speaking between that. So you have a screen with your airplane, okay, and you're gonna have lines already on your flight path with your plotted. The examiner will probably plot it for you there, or I don't know how it works. You just find yourself with just your route plotted, okay, simply put, just your route plotted, and you need to change. I don't know if it's nationally wise, but my one was you had to change the heading when you're past the point, when you're at the end of a waypoint, you have to turn your heading, I don't know, 150 from 150 to 180. Okay, that's how it works basically. They'll give you a sheet with frequencies, okay, so frequencies, and you'll have 5 minutes to plot your route, okay, so your waypoints on your chart. They'll give you 5 minutes for that and 20 minutes to find your frequencies. When you do that, they will have columns, okay, so your air-ground communication service, if a frequency has an air-ground communication service, it will be with that frequency. If it doesn't have a FISO, basically information, okay, so air-ground communication service radio, FISO is information, and ATC is going to go with radar or tower. And do note, okay, so if it's let's say, I don't know, Swansea, for example, okay, it can be Swansea radio, yeah. And if you're speaking about Cardiff, I'm just going on the Wales here because I revised it from my X-Plane. Cardiff, it will be Cardiff ATC, okay, so Cardiff Tower, Cardiff Radar, one of those, okay. So that's how it works. They'll give you a sheet and you'll give you with frequencies, and you have to pick the correct frequencies, and they'll test you on that as well. I think you can ask some frequencies en route when you're speaking to the examiner. They'll probably give it to you as well, but do make sure that you do have it beforehand before you start your flight, so you're clear where you're going, from where, what frequencies you have to use, nearby, okay, nearby frequencies as well. So maybe an airport 5 miles, 10 miles, 50 miles from from your waypoint, okay, if you have to divert, if you have bad weather on your flight plan, if your examiner gives you bad weather en route, you have to divert, okay, or if you have any other situation, just use an alternative airfield and an alternative frequency, more frequency than airfield, okay, but do do just both, not a problem, okay. Then my hair's a bit, there we go. Then we're going to speaking about now, so going on to the next one, you can, that we've done that, yeah, they'll give you 5 minutes to draw lines and 20 minutes to do the as I just said, the frequencies, okay, note down the correct frequencies. Then they'll give you, all your the exam is basically an hour, okay, more or less. They'll give you the waypoint, you go to the waypoint, you do all your basic service radio calls. I did basic service, not traffic service, okay, because with basic service, they'll give you information. So sometimes the examiner might not want that, and they just want to keep it basic, so basic service. So just do your normal radio basic calls. If you have to go into MATS penetration, okay, then you request MATS penetration as well. You might have, if there's an ATZ in the MATS penetration, you can ask for a zone transit or overhead for the ATZ within and MATS as well. Okay, so it's just a combination of many things that your instructor, your examiner, will have to do. If you've passed, they're going to give you oral questions. They're going to give you oral questions anyway. I think they're recorded as well. So just oral questions that the examiner might have not tested you. And apart from that, before we get onto that, they will do Mayday calls and relay. They will do Mayday or Pan, and they ask you to relay a message. So for a life raft that's in the sea, for example, or other aircraft that's crashed, or another aircraft that can't hear the the tower can't hear the aircraft, but the aircraft can hear the tower. Okay, so those situations you'd have to relay. So get all your notes down and go on CAP 413. Obviously, you might have heard it in your aircrafts during your flights, but not CAP 413 reference and knowledge or syllabus. Okay, not to that ability. So do make sure you do that. Once you've passed, if you pass, you're going to get the hot topic. Okay, so you're going to speak about, they'll give you a 5-minute introduction, let's say, of a hot topic that CAA wants you to do. It's mandatory, so you have to do it, and it's going to be, my one was aircraft infringement, and you'll be doing the aircraft infringement with your examiner, just 5 minutes of discussion and just 5 minutes of them explaining you with a PowerPoint of how to avoid aircraft infringement, what it is, etc. Most things that you already know already, but just a recap from the CAA. Then it's going to be signed off by your head of training, and there we go, you have passed, and congratulations, you can go on to your skill test if you haven't done your skill test already, which is my situation at the moment. So if you do fail, I think you can get to choose another examiner, or just the same examiner, and you apart from that, you get another examiner. You can also you can't do the same route, so it has to be another route, and you can choose another examiner as well. Sorry for my hair, guys. Okay, that's how it works, guys. I wish you best of luck. That's the end of the video. Quite a long one in respect to the other ones. I hope you go very well with your RT training. I hope you go very well with your license. If this was just an information video, then I wish you all the best for your other theory exams and your other trainings. Videos are in the description down below. Once you get the communications theory book, then you can get the book video on the communications theory exam. Then you can get all the other ones as well on YouTube on the playlist, PPL Private Pilot's License playlist. Guys, that's all for today. I thank you all so much, and I'll be speaking on the next one, which will be the skill test, soon to come. Thank you guys all for your support. As I said at the start of the video, you're tremendously supportive, and I will wish you all the best for your PPL, and have a good day. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next one. Bye bye.